Good thing you were paying attention.
Yeah,
We'd have missed all of it.
We'd have missed all
We've been
of
late.
it.
58-188 board forum, does anybody have anything?
Just a reminder that I will not be able to attend the board retreat.
Anybody else? 58-189 consent agenda.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. 58-190 public forum game. Nobody.
I don't think so. You're not speaking, are you?
Yeah. We don't need 58-191 or 192, right? All right, discussion items, 58-193, letter A, excess property disposal.
We participated in the citywide garage sale this weekend and made $5,700 on the equipment that was there. Dr. Dindy Wolf would like some guidance on one piece of equipment, so I'll let him speak.
Yeah, we sold everything except 3 items, iron marker, Kalamazoo saw, and grinder. I've had some inquiries on purchasing those separate, all together, if we just wanted to get rid of them. I know the iron worker is valuable to the right person, so I didn't know if you wanted me to sell them or if you wanted to list them on Purple Wave or how you wanted me to proceed.
So you do have somebody that is interested already? That was at the,
I have 2 people. Yeah.
had they participated in the garage sale?
Both of them did, yes.
I would say just sell it.
That's what I'd say.
If we list it on Purple Wave, it'll cost more than it's worth to do it.
Do you have a price for those 3 items?
That's your
I have no idea what
discretion.
they're worth.
You and Kevin figure out what you want to do.
If you can get 1,500, go for it.
Okay, I'll work my magic.
All right.
Whatever you can do.
Anything else? All right. Well, item C, KSB board policy update, second reading.
Yeah, this is the second reading. I would recommend approval of these policies.
Mr. President,
Dr.
I recommend approval of the board policy updates.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the KSB board policy updates. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Letter C, Pickett Elementary School plumbing bids.
We received 2 bids and they are included in the packet. We had a bid from Great Plain Trenchless for $65,200 and a bid from Smith Plumbing in Kansas New Drain for $65,500. Just a reminder, the original inspection was done by Smith Plumbing in Kansas New Drain. Very comparable in prices.
Looking at both of bids, basically doing the same thing. But you said Smith's the one that did the initial.
That's correct.
I feel like if Smith did the original for a difference of just $300, I say we go with Smith. So I would move that we accept the bid from Smith. Let me get back to where it's at, so I've got the amount in front of me here. I move we accept the bid from Smith Plumbing and Kansas New Drain for a price of $65,500.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the bid from Smith Plumbing and Kansas New Drain for the amount of $65,500 for the plumbing bids at Pickett Elementary School. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Same sign, motion passed. Letter D, handbook changes for 26-27. Move your second reading, Mr. Perez.
Yeah, all those changes are included in the packet. The big ones that we previously discussed were social media as well as cell phone. The tricky part with the cell phone was inaccessible. So we tried to meet that definition the best we could. Ultimately, we're going to encourage kids to leave them at home or in their vehicles if they have that opportunity. If they are bringing them into the buildings, they need to be powered off before they're brought into the buildings. At the high school, they will be stored in lockers and locked. At the elementary, we don't have a great storage system. But in the backpack in the back of the classroom, I felt was sufficient for that. In regards to social media, we need to adopt and approve anything that we're going to use for one-way communication. The bill does prevent two-way communication between staff and students, so we felt it was best to eliminate all of our Facebook pages, except for the three main ones, which would be the district page, the Russell Junior Senior High School page, and the Simpson and Bickerdike Elementary pages. Just to make sure there's not two-way communication going back. Are there any questions about the language or specifics of those policies that are included in the packet?
So with the different sports, some use bands, some use, are those, each individual one of those gonna need to be, I guess, approved by the board?
No. So band does meet the criteria of not being social media. We can sign a contract with band, which I have done. So we will be able to utilize band, but we will not be able to utilize band like we are currently. Right now, student athletes and coaches often direct message each other. Speaking as a coach, I have students who will ask, what gym are we in today? Things of that nature. They're all relevant to the sport and situation, but that is not going to be allowed anymore. So what I will do with Mr. Sanders, we will have a meeting with all coaches and we will disable any communication. Band will still be able to be utilized as one-way messaging. So if a coach says, hey, we are playing at Hayes High School today for the Hayes Rec League, they can still send that out, but nothing else can come back to them. So what we're really going to work on with our students and student athletes is that these avenues can be one-way communication, Facebook, band, whatever it may be. But if you have something you need to get in contact with your coach, sponsor, teacher, that needs to be through our email system.
That's what I'm voting recently.
So do we need to approve these?
Do they need to be in a separate motion for district and personnel, Jane?
No, not if you're gonna approve them both.
Mr. President,
Dr. Ellis.
I move we approve the district handbook and personnel handbook changes as they were presented to us in the packet.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the district and personnel handbook changes as presented for 26-27. Any discussion?
I do have a question on, because when we were, I mean, it stems from the negotiations, that when we were talking about having for a disruption in the classroom and stuff like that, is that something that's in there or something that can be added, or does that have to wait till next year to be added, or how does that
We
work
can
out?
amend it.
It could be amended.
Yeah.
That was my question.
Okay. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Letter E, pole vault pit. Mr. Sanders, it's you.
Yeah. So current pole vault pit, it's pretty beat up. It's in poor condition, as I would say. We believe it's stood the test of time and it's taken a beating. For us to host a regional for track, we would have to make sure it would be stable at 5 foot. And when we hosted our track meets, they weren't even fully stable at holding 5 foot. So it's just one of those times. I think it's just one of those times that we've gotten as much use out of it as we have been able to. And thankfully, Mr. Perez was at school one day and one piece went flying over the
Railroad tracks.
Yeah, railroad tracks. It's just an older mat. We're thinking it's at least 15 to 18 years old. I mean, the one that we got a bid on through BSN, a lot of high schools have purchased in the last 2 to 3 years, and they have loved it since they've received it. So,
Is there anything that has to be done to like a foundation or anything to?
no,
use the mats?
but the runway needs to be addressed at some point. We can have an easy fix there with just installing a 1/2-inch rubber that would stabilize that until the track is resurfaced. But we have all the hookups for this one already.
This has been something that's been needed for quite a while. So, Mr. President, I would make a motion that we accept the bid proposal from BSN Sports to replace the current pole vault kit as presented for $27,241.38.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the purchase of a new pole vault pit for the amount of $27,241.38 from BSN Sports. Is there any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Letter F, trailer and bus bids.
The bids we received for the trailer, the highest amount was $2,656 from Jason Piper. We had 2 other bids for that, and for the bus, our top bid was $4,000 from Brian Stanley.
Mr. President,
Yeah, Doctor.
I recommend we accept bids from Jason Pfeiffer and Brian Stanley for the trailer and bus respectively.
Been moved and seconded that we accept the bids from Jason Piper for the trailer and Brian Stanley for the bus. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Or, sorry. I don't know why I raised my hand again. Well, vote twice. No. Letter G, asbestos containment.
Maybe you wanted it. I thought maybe you wanted one.
I did. Not for those prices.
The asbestos containment at Russell Junior Senior High School has been completed. Per the contract, we have to also hire another company to come in and do an air quality test. They can't also do that and be a conflict of interest. So we did have someone come in, they tested the air quality, and it passed the test. So those tunnels can now be reoccupied, which is great because if we have a situation, they can now go down there and complete the work. So I just wanted to update you on that.
Utility tunnels underneath the school? Utility tunnels underneath the school?
Yeah. Okay. Letter H, KDAG, Kansas Clean Vehicle Program.
We were notified that we were awarded the grant. When we applied for the grant, we applied to replace 2 of our diesel buses. The award was for 1 bus. We are still awaiting details. We do not know the amount. They referenced July 1 would be the earliest you could spend any money, but we don't even know what was allocated yet. So as we learn those details, we will bring them forward to you.
They're gonna like give you any kind of indication at all,
No.
other than we have to destroy a bus.
Yeah, so when we applied for 2 very different buses. They did not say this one or that one, so we submitted all the paperwork that they sent to us, and we have not heard anything from them since.
So they pay 75%, we pay
25, yeah.
It'd be awesome if we could get another activity posted now.
Wow.
Get rid of one of the older ones.
Especially at 25%.
Yeah. Social, letter I, social media.
This was already kind of previously approved, but I think it's better that we do a standalone on this, the way that policy is written. So as previously mentioned, I would recommend approving Facebook as our social media platform for the district. Facebook is tied to Apogee, so we've kind of talked through that. There are 3 main pages that we would like to proceed with. Again, that is Simpson and Bickert Ike Elementary Schools, Russell Junior Senior High School, and Russell USD 407. And I also recommend that all other Facebook pages be deactivated or deleted, not because they lack importance, but because they lack oversight. If people are running those pages, it's hard to prevent two-way messaging because we lack the oversight.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
make the motion that we approve the Facebook, our social media platform for the district. as presented.
It's been moved and seconded that Facebook be approved as a social media platform as presented. Any discussion?
I do have questions. So when it comes to like this, when we had the steering committee and all that stuff, and there was a kind of an offset of a school function or a school thing, are those things that can't be used anymore if it has anything to do with the school?
I would think that you could, because like the steering committee wasn't part of the school district, that was a separate entity.
Right.
If it's outside of the school district.
So like booster.
But yeah, that's where I was
That would be
gonna
like
go.
booster club.
They can
continue to be
still
okay,
do
so
any of
still
that.
be okay. I would
Yeah.
do this on.
Okay.
I think this is
Gotcha. So you're talking like,
cheer.
like a
dance,
classroom,
track.
okay, yeah. It's one of the individual type,
Yeah,
okay.
sports group.
And our plan moving forward, so if cheer has something they want to celebrate, it'll just be pushed out into Russell Junior Senior High School's page. We had this conversation even before this policy. We started talking about this a year ago. One of the problems we have is if you turn over a position, you turn over a coach, they create a new page. There are so many old pages out there. So these are constantly being recreated and people are going to them and they're not drawing as big of an audience as it would be if everyone was filtered to one spot. So this policy kind of forced our hand.
Simpson and Bickert Ike have their own Facebook page together?
They do, it's joint.
Joint, okay.
It was moved and seconded that we approve Facebook as the approved social media platform as presented. With all those in favor, all opposed, passed. JKSB June 2026 policy updates. This is just the first reading, right? Bring that back next month. Anybody has anything, let Jamie and George know.
The only comment I have on that is, they had a, what would you call it, like a review, with KSB that I watched. It is accessible through your KSB access. I just understand it a lot better listening to the lawyers talk about it. So if you have time, maybe do that within the next.
Where'd you find it?
It's on KSB.
Okay. Yeah, they've saved the recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there was probably a link email that was to, I'm guessing.
Deanna also sat with me during
It was interesting.
the review of policies.
Some are kind of, you're going, what? Yeah.
It's just, it's like, listening to them explain it like a human instead of legalese.
See, that's, yeah, I think that's probably a good thing. So the broadcast is like explaining to you like a human, or is it the lawyers who are using legalese?
It's more human.
Okay.
I mean, there's still a little bit of that, but
Yeah, oh yeah, cool. It's education.
Alright. 58-194, departmental reports. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just want to circle back to cell phone and social media. Now that that is approved, my goal is to start pushing this information out to families. So over the next week or so, you'll see some alerts getting sent out. One specifically to parents, here's our new cell phone policy, these are the consequences, these are the expectations. And then like I said previously with staff, we're really going to have to start coaching them through the social media. So we'll start spearheading that.
I think it's probably important to make sure and emphasize that this is statewide, this is just not the local schools that are trying to implement this.
Admin, do you guys, any of you have anything to add?
Yeah, so we just found out today that we were awarded the 21st Century Grant, which is amazing. So big shout out to Katrina for doing the grant application with me. I learned a lot through the process. So that means we'll be able to continue our break time after school program for 5 more years and our summer school program for 5 more years. The exact amount, we don't know yet because they're still finishing up their budgeting portion of things, but we're expecting it to be very similar to what we were currently awarded.
Awesome.
Thank you both.
Great job.
Anything else?
Wow.
Jay, you have anything you want to add?
No, I mean, we had a great finish with spring sports. Obviously, we took 6 athletes to state track, came home with some medals. Baseball finished really good. I know we didn't play in the best weather conditions that last game, but at least they were able to still play and compete for that 3rd place trophy. So, yeah, and then golf, Jake Moody placing 4th. Was a really good highlight to end the year with athletics.
Cody? Okay. No student reps. So we'll move on. 58-195, board committee reports. Ron, you have anything?
I don't, I didn't get a chance to go to the meeting, for the building.
Yeah, the meeting was actually pretty short. Talked a lot about the endowment and the monies that have been transferred into that. So that's still their focus. They're really banking on that extra $2,000 for getting that started and going from there.
So we're ready for negotiations, 58-196.
Mr. President, I move we go into executive session to discuss future negotiations pursuant to matters relating to employer-employee negotiations under the Kansas Meetings Act, with the open meeting resuming in the boardroom in 15 minutes, sound good? If we include Mr. Briss.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We go into executive session to discuss matters relating to employer-employee negotiations under COMA with open meeting resuming in 15 minutes to include Mr. Perez. All in favor? All opposed? All right, let the record reflect no action was taken. Jane?
Mr. President,
Dr. Ellis?
I move we approve a 2% raise for all returning administrators.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve a 2% raise for all the returning administrators for the 26-27 school year. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed.
Mr. President,
Dr. Ellis?
I move we go into executive session to discuss staffing pursuant to the non-elected personnel exception under the Kansas Open Meeting Act, with the open meeting resuming in the boardroom in, what do we need? 10 minutes, to include Mr. Perez.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we go into executive session to discuss staffing pursuant to the non-elected personnel exception under COMA, with the open meeting resuming in the boardroom in 10 minutes to include Mr. Perez. All those in favor? All opposed? Motion passes.
Good.
Jane, let the record reflect no action was taken.
Mr. President,
Yes,
I move that we accept the following resignation. Brandon Ridgely, head baseball coach. Jay Sanders, activity director, assistant principal at Russell Junior Senior High School. New contracts, work agreements, Alvaro Aiden, football assistant coach at Russell Senior High. Corbin Johnson, football assistant at Russell Junior High. Walker Middleton, football assistant coach at Russell Senior High School. Contract modifications, Tyler Ode, transfer from night custodian to head custodian and night custodian at Russell Junior Senior High School.
moved and seconded that we approve the resignations, new contracts, and contract modifications as read. Is there any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed.
Mr. President,
Yes.
before we adjourn, Jay, just want to say thanks. You did us good this last year. Everything, just appreciate you. We're definitely going to miss you. We understand. We don't like it, but we definitely understand. So thank you for everything.
No, I was gonna thank you guys earlier, but I didn't think it was the time. So thank you for supporting me, having my back. I had a pleasure working with every one of you and enjoyed my time here. It was a very, very difficult decision, and a lot of thought into it. It wasn't easy. So thank you again for everything. Enjoyed my time.
Know that door swings both ways, so hopefully
Yes.
someday you're coming back
Hey.
to that door again, right? So,
Very easily.
okay. Mr. President,
Wrong.
make the motion that we
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor? Meeting is over.